Hello and welcome to Engage, the program that covers community-engaged learning, research, and service here at Mississippi State University. My name is Michelle Garraway. I'm with the Center for Community-Engaged Learning. And today I am joined by Dr. Diego Thompson in the Department of Sociology, who's going to share how he does community engagement within his work. Welcome, Dr. Thompson.
Thank you.
Yes, please share with us, if you could, to start off, your background and how you came to join us here at Mississippi State.
Okay. So I am originally from Uruguay, South America, and I came to the US to complete my graduate studies. I earned my PhD in Sociology and Sustainable Agriculture at Iowa State University in 2014. And after that, I worked as a visiting assistant professor in the Department of Sociology and Anthropology in Middlebury College. So I came to MSU in the fall of 2017 as a rural and environmental sociologist. That's what I do. So my two main research areas are social disparities in food systems and community solutions to address them. And the other area is looking at community perceptions and adaptations to environmental problems created by agriculture or climate change in the US and also in Latin America. So as an assistant professor here in the Department of Sociology at MSU, I teach, I do research, and I also serve on different organizations working on these areas, such as the Mississippi Food Policy Council and also the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council.
Very interesting. Yes, we wanted to talk a little bit more this morning about the Oktibbeha County Food Policy Council and what that is, how it came into being, and if you could share with us, what the program is, how it's evolved, how Mississippi State is a part of it.
Okay, good. So the council, the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council, started before I came to the U.S., but the first meeting of what we know now as the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council was in December of 2016. It was organized by who was the director of the Mississippi Food Insecurity Project, with faculty, researchers, and graduate students who were interested in developing a local food system within the Oktibbeha County. There were MSU scholars from different departments and programs, including sociology, social work, public policy, landscape architecture, the Stennis Institute, MSU Extension, and also people from the Social Science Research Center. Department or program. I would say that the main mission of the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council has been to reduce food insecurity by making fresh and healthy food more available locally in Oktibbeha County, and also to create more awareness by having conversations about food problems and solutions, and to alleviate the agri-food challenges and struggles experienced by especially by low-income families and limited resource farmers in this region of Mississippi. So the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council has been composed by both MSU members and local stakeholders working on agriculture and food issues, especially members of underrepresented or undeserved groups such as low-income families and limited resource farmers. So since the end of 2016, this organization has organized public and monthly meetings to address these issues.
Yes, so MSU and its students have had a good chance to be involved. What benefits have you seen in the community because of the council and MSU's involvement?
Mm-hmm. Thanks for that question, because I think that is very important. First of all, the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council offered a new space to address agriculture and food problems in Oktibbeha County and also in this region of Mississippi. Secondly, it has been a unique and good space to build and strengthen relationships and partnerships between MSU members and community stakeholders to address local food problems and also agricultural problems. And I would say that the third main benefit that is related to specifically to your question, Michelle, is that these partnerships have been beneficial for both MSU and community members. For example, faculty and many students from different departments, including the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, also students from agricultural economics, have conducted research or have done projects for their classes working with community stakeholders who are members of the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council. Also, community members have benefited from MSU assistance or resources made available through these partnerships created at the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council.
Sure. I enjoy that you're using the word partnership a lot, because I wanted to talk to you or ask you a little bit more about the partnerships that make up the council. What are those partnerships like? How have they changed over time? What are the current partnerships that are making the council work?
Well, over the last 3 years, I would say, the composition of the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council, the participants and also the partnerships have changed. But I would say that looking at ways to improve the local food system and also to facilitate more healthy and fresh food, especially among vulnerable groups here in Oktibbeha County, the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council has created partnerships with different community stakeholders, including Starkville Public Housing, Starkville Parks and Recreation, the Winston County Self-Cooperative, and the Unlimited Community Agricultural Cooperative, UCAC, which are two local cooperatives of farmers, mostly limited resource farmers. And also, more recently, the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council partnered with residents of Maven, of the town of Maven. Mm-hmm. So these partnerships have changed, and the goals of these partnerships also sometimes were very specific, sometimes were for looking at the long-term or the long-term impact of these partners. We, in several meetings of the Food Policy Council, people have said that we have small but meaningful projects and partnerships. Mm-hmm. So examples of results from these partners could be, for example, last year, in 2019, the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council partnered with Starkville Parks and Recreation to develop a farmers market for the summer last year at the J.L. King Senior Memorial Park. The location of this market was extremely significant because it's a neighborhood with limited access to fresh and healthy food, and that was identified in our meetings. Another result from the partnership could be the partnership with the community of Maven. This community had access to a former athletic field that was part of an abandoned school last year, and Maven City Council offered the land to the community to create a community garden in the summer last year. So members of the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council and also partners, including farmers from the UCAC, helped residents of Maven to create that community garden that offered food for many people, especially vulnerable groups such as elderly individuals.
Very good.
There's
have other examples to share.
Well, those are many awesome examples of what the current work of the council is. I'm interested in if there isn't anything, what is planned for the future, if there are other things you have not done so far that you hope to have come to fruition.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. This year, the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council was planning to continue and expand some of the recent partnerships that I mentioned before, such as the farmers market at the J.L. Senior Memorial Park, because it wasn't very well attended last year. It was the first time. We got the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council had a pavilion that was reserved for the summer, but we didn't see many food vendors using the pavilion. So we were planning to expand these types of partnerships and also other partnerships that we had, such as, for example, with the town of Maven. But with the COVID-19 pandemic, some of these projects have been temporarily suspended. And the Oktibbeha Food Policy Council, I would say that in the last few months, has focused on improving its organizational capacity, such as leadership rotation, which included, as a result of that, there was a new executive board that was created, who is an MSU member and also a community resident with a long history on community work and community engagement here in Oktibbeha County, working on multiple organizations. So hopefully, so right now we are having, for example, virtual meetings instead of in-person meetings. And so it has been a little bit challenging in the last few months for the Food Policy Council. With the local food problems that have been exacerbated by the pandemic, it seems that much of the work that is being focused, that is being done right now by the Food Policy Council, or at least that is being discussed in the meetings, is how to support local initiatives to provide food to low-income families. So there have been some discussions about creating new partnerships with food pantries, for example, or organizations currently working on these issues here in Oktibbeha County.
Yes, yes. And you're right, the pandemic has affected just about everything, including how we're doing engagement, but it's promising the plans that you're talking about is for the future and how the council can continue on. Well, our time has flown here. We have just a minute, really, to wrap up our conversation. I wanted to thank you again and just really plug, if people are more interested in learning about how to get involved with the council, you have a Facebook page. What should they search for, the keyword?
Yeah, so we only have a Facebook page. People can look for Oktibbeha Food Policy Council. Okay. And if someone is interested in joining, so all of our meetings are open to the community. So if someone is interested, please send a message through that Facebook page.
Okay.
And someone is going to contact you.
Thank you again, Dr. Thompson. And of course, if anyone wants to learn anything more about community engagement here at MSU, please check out ccel.msstate.edu. Thank you again for joining us, and please join us again.